A house is a shelter against the elements, a refuge, and an asset. But many people living in towns and cities across South Africa cannot access public housing or affordable rentals, so they end up living in informal settlements and informal backyard dwellings. Amid the housing shortage and budget constraints, government is shifting focus to providing serviced sites. But what about housing? We believe there is an opportunity for government to enable the right to build and self-build. The right to build is about empowering people to build their own homes, with guidance and support from the state and other role players. If government doesn't enable and support people's right to self-build, to build their own homes, many people will construct what they can afford, which may result in large numbers of informal and undignified structures. Hardly an ideal outcome. But if self-build is supported, it allows for choice, agency, and incremental improvements and investments over time. So how can government support self-build? Housing support centers can be established to facilitate incremental housing consolidation in both informal settlements and formal neighborhoods where backyard housing provides affordable rental housing and densification. The housing support centers should provide offerings that suit the local context, such as training and technical support on construction, access to basic building plans and regulatory compliance help, prototype designs for different types of houses, access to local artisans and contractors, pro forma lease agreements, information on tenant and landlord rights and obligations, referrals to rental housing tribunals, and information on how to access finance. For housing support centers to be successful, municipalities must have the capacity to run them. If municipalities are undercapacitated, they will require assistance from provincial government, civil society organizations, the private sector, and finance providers can offer additional support and services. National building regulations must be simplified, prioritizing health and safety, and title deed registration addressed. At a municipal level, regulations and procedures will also need to be simplified. The centers will need a physical presence, a permanent structure or mobile office, close to where people live, so services are accessible and trust is built between municipalities and communities. Digital tools and other outreach strategies can also provide information and support. To strengthen community-based knowledge, EPWP workers can be trained on housing rights and how to access housing support. Funding can come from existing grants, but as the centers become more prominent in communities, dedicated funding and private sector support will be required. Households wanting to build and improve their home incrementally will need financial support. A voucher scheme can help residents buy building materials or pay a local contractor to construct a top structure. Households can complement this with their own funding, like savings, stokvels, or loans. Housing support centers can enable the right to build and advance housing rights. By contributing to increased housing supply and improving local living conditions, urgent housing needs are met and neighborhoods are transformed. Isn't this a future worth building?